Your monthly subscription box from postflybox.com includes all the materials needed to tie a dozen flies, along with some extra goodies. This is a Soft Hackle Streamer, originated by fly fishing and fly tying legend Jack Gartside. Its underwater profile and movement, combined with just a hint of flash, result in a fly that's beyond compare. Begin by picking up one of the heavy-duty size 2 hooks and getting it firmly secured in the jaws of your tying vise. Then, load a bobbin with a spool of fire orange unithread. Get the thread started on the hook shank behind the eye, and after taking a dozen or so wraps rearward, snip off the excess tag. Position your thread about 1/3 of the way down the hook shank. 2 chartreuse marabou plumes make up a large portion of this fly. Pick up one of the plumes and strip off fibers until the stem begins to narrow significantly. While you're at it, strip the other feather in the same manner. Once you have both stems exposed, take a closer look at one of the feathers. It should be slightly concave on one side and convex on the other. With the convex side facing you, hold the feather's tip in your right hand and preen down the lower fibers. Wetting your fingers will help to do this. When you have the tip of the feather exposed, snip it off like so. Don't let go of the plume. Place the end against the near side of the hook and take thread wraps to secure it. Tying in like this helps to reinforce the delicate stem. End with your tying thread about halfway to the back edge of the hook eye. Get hold of the bare stem with hackle pliers and pull the plume up to vertical. If needed, spread the fibers out on either side of the stem. Run the back edge of your scissors up, not down, on both sides of the stem. This will fold the fibers rearward. Dampen your fingers, and as you preen the fibers rearward, take touching wraps up the hook shank. When you reach bare stem, take tight wraps of tying thread to bind it down and snip the excess off close. Again, pull the fibers rearward and take thread wraps to clean up the tie-down area. The fly should now look something like this. Pick up the second chartreuse marabou plume and prepare it as you did the first. Then secure it to the hook shank in the same manner as you did before. Take thread wraps to clean up the tie-in area before you start wrapping the feather. Here too, use the same folding, wrapping, and securing sequence. With the stem snipped off close, take thread wraps to cover it up and smooth out the head area. As you can see, the second marabou plume just kind of blends in with the first. Snip 2 or 3 strands of pearl flashabou free from the hank and locate their midpoint. Place that midpoint against the near side of the hook and take thread wraps to secure it. Pull the forward pointing portion back over top of the hook shank and down along the far side of the fly. Take thread wraps to secure it there. Trim off the flashabou so it's about even with the marabou tips. Pick up one of the teal flank feathers and prep it much in the same way as you did the marabou feathers. First, strip it down until you reach narrow stem. Make sure the convex side is facing you. Preen down the lower fibers to expose the tip and snip it off. While maintaining your grip, place the snipped off end against the near side of the hook and take thread wraps to really lock it down. Get hold of the stem with hackle pliers, but this time, instead of using your scissors to fold the fibers back, squeeze with your fingertips and bend the stem down through them. Do this a couple of times and the fibers should fold nicely rearward. Take touching wraps forward with the feather, anchor the stem, and snip the excess off close. Cover up the snipped off end with wraps of tying thread and work to create a good-looking head on the fly. Reach for your whip finish tool and use it to do a 5 or 6 turn back to front whip finish. Seat the knot well and snip your tying thread free. Using a bodkin to preen out both the teal and marabou helps add to the fly's fullness and overall look. A drop of head cement applied to the thread wraps will greatly increase fly durability. You really have to admire the simplicity and elegance of this pattern. It's got everything you need and nothing you don't. And best of all, it works like a charm.